Hi, kids. It's Uncle Bob here. Um, got a question in the email about exactly how do you classify herbs and what herbs did I grow. Um, Herbs are one of those rare classifications of plants that have a use. Originally, herbs were all used medicinally, and there was a book called the Matricaria that you would check to see what the herbs were used for. Sage was a very common healing herb. The botanical name salvia means to save, which is healing. Thymol was the herb of courage. It was rubbed on open wounds in the battlefields to be antiseptic and antibacterial. Anyway, and when you think about the family of herbs, they all have a use, either culinary, which is probably the most common, medicinal. They were used for dye, color different clothes. Indigo comes to mind. And also scents, lavenders and perfumes. I mean, they all have a lot of uses. So that's how they classify the word herbs. Now, the difference between herbs and spices is usually spices are a tropical part of a plant, either bark or seed pod or something that they process in some way, whereas a herb, you use the whole plant typically. And when we talked about growing herbs, there's two types. There's annuals and there perennials. There's some that fit in between, like parsley, which is a biennial. But anyway, annuals are the plants that complete their whole life cycle in one season. Basil and cilantro are two of the most popular. Perennials are, depending on their hardiness, come back year after year from the root system. And when I talk about hardy, that means there are some perennials that are tender. Sweet marjoram is one of those where if it gets to be a hard frost, it won't make it through the winter because they're very tender. So they treat them as an annual, although they are truly a perennial. Anyway, there's all different exceptions to the rules, as they say. As far as what we grew, at one time I counted over 125 different varieties of herbs. We also had 50 different scented geraniums, which are the pelargonium family of the Geraniaceae. We also, I had a list of the top 10 of most popular herbs that we grew, basil being one. Basil means king, so it was the king. We had 5 or 6 really good varieties that we grew. African blue basil, holy basil, all of those come to mind. Spicy globe was a popular one. But the typical sweet basil that they make the pesto out of is the number one. We were always trying to be the first on the market, trying to get out basil by February, but pushing the season, it doesn't do quite well. The second one was cilantro. Especially out here in California, cilantro was very popular. And then you go down the list, there's chives, there's dill. What I did mention was marjoram, oregano, sweet oregano, Italian oregano is what was the most popular. There's a Greek oregano, it's a lower, fleshier plant. And then rosemary, sage, thyme, parsley's in there too. So the top 10 are basil, cilantro, chives, dill, marjoram, oregano, parsley, rosemary, sage, thyme. And right behind all those were the mints. We had spearmint, peppermint, catnip, catmint, grapefruit mint. Oh, we had a lot of different mints. Apple mint, pineapple mint. But basically the top 10, and most of them were perennials. Okay? So that's how you classify herbs, and those were the top 10 that we grew. Okay? See you later. You be good. You be kind. Bye.